Hey guys, Mike here, MF Kustom Garage. So as you can see, we've got a big hole there where nothing is. As I kind of showed before, the tranny's out. We're going to go through it too because we're going to do low gear C6 upgrade and a few other little upgrades there. Now, this here was our cylinder that had some low compression in it. And I don't know. We'll take kind of a look in there. I don't know what you guys can see. There's a couple little scars in there. And we may look at putting line-to-line coating on the pistons when we put it back together. I haven't quite decided yet. It was burning a little rich for sure, but we kind of knew that because of the exhaust. Everything else looks pretty good in there. I mean, it's not terrible. We're going to check the rings too in this hole. But for the most part, everything looks pretty good. There, head studs are out. Rockers all look good. I did pull a couple lifters. I'll show you in another clip. And then I'm going to go over here though, guys, and we're going to talk about what happened with this cylinder head. So I just want to get this tripod set up here. Hopefully we can get a good view of this for you guys. So this was the valve that was in question. And when I took the valve and I just lapped it quick, I don't know, as you can see there, it had a seat all the way around. It didn't look too terrible, but it didn't look great either. Fuel we were running in this thing obviously was ugly. Now, if we look here at this seat, over here is quite a bit wider than right here. Here is like a lot narrower, and I hope this shows up on the camera, guys. I'm just gonna move it here a little bit so that we can, there. That should be not a bad view. But over here on this side of the seat, it's way narrower than it is on this side of the seat. So we'll start in the comments now or whatever, talking about it. And yes, I'm well aware that we're dealing with a Chinesium head here. This is Speedmaster 460 head, and the reason why these are on here, COVID. And we're not going to get into that, but they're on here because of COVID, because they were all I could get at the time. If it was up to me, these would be Trickfo 325 power ports. That's CNC deals. That's kind of what I wanted. Instead, they're Speedmaster with a whole bunch of port work that I did, and they run pretty good though for what they were. But that guide is obviously not totally eccentric to here. Now, I did do a valve job on these guys, and just give me a second here, guys. Sorry, guys. I was just grabbing a pilot. So there's a pilot in there, and I guarantee this is not eccentric to the valve. They drilled these off a little bit, and even if we come down to this far one, I'm just going to move you here just a little. Bear with me, guys. We're dealing with the tripod here. This one here is the same way. The seat's narrower on this side than this side. And now I did the valve job on these things, so it's kind of my fault, because I knew not to run them with their valve job. I would have never done that. So So anyway, with the pilot, and the pilot I was using didn't have wear in it too bad or anything like that, I know that. You put the pilot in there, your tool grinds the valve. Now I know there's a lot of guys don't stone grind anymore, but I understand that too. But here in the real world, where we don't have millions, up in Canada, this is just what we do. So they're over here. So the problem is, when I go to redo this and grind it, it's going to wind up being wider over here and narrower over here. And I'm not going to do anything about it. We're just going to regrind it. But ultimately, that's why we had 20 pounds less compression in the cylinder. I think it got really, really narrow on this side. Probably picked up a little bit of carbon because obviously the gas we were running wasn't the greatest or the cleanest. But that being said, the rest of the ports look pretty good. The exhaust looks really bad. And again, I blame a lot of that on that exhaust problem. We had such restrictive exhaust that it just gave us an issue. Carbon things up a little bit faster than we wanted. So, and ultimately too, hurt us on the big end a whole bunch. We know that. So on this exhaust port too here, guys, I was looking at it and I ported it, but here there's a bump kind of right here, like it's I opened it up a lot, pulled it out this way a bunch, but there's still a bump down in here. So to me, that's still a pinch. So I'm thinking we're going to take that part of the bump out, which will widen it a little bit, maybe get rid of the pinch. I was going to talk to Scotty the Mad Porter because he's dealt with these heads before, if any of you guys know who that is, and just kind of see what he thinks about touching the floor, because I know sometimes the floor can be a little touchy as to, but line of sight tells me that knocking that down there would improve things some more. So, and we've already tried to improve these heads a bunch, just porting them like where the seats come up to the guides, or where the seats lined up with the port. Oh my God, they had ridges in here, guys. Like, anybody who's ever worked on heads would have never ever, like here the ridge was huge, but we took all that out. We took out all of it in the exhaust. I still think these heads work better, are very, very comparable to if you did a ton of work on a set of Dove heads, even though I think this casting is probably modeled after the worst head, the D3. But whatever, it is what it is. So anyway, guys, I just thought I'd show you what's going on. I've got a teardown video. We'll let you see that, and we'll go from there. But that's an update on the Galaxie and what all we're going to do, and we'll take you along as we go. As far as everything goes, we've made some changes, and hopefully we're going to get you some better content and some more content, because if there's one thing I know, we have been short a lot of content. And I'm not overly happy about that being short on content, guys. Like I said, bear with me a little bit here because I'm just trying to make adjustments as we go. So, and as far as being short content goes and stuff, like I said, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. You know, like, share, subscribe. Sometimes life just does things where you got things you got to deal with. So we're back. We bought some new stuff to edit better. we're gonna do better, and we're gonna try to get one video a week up, guaranteed. So anyway, follow along with this. Like I said, in a perfect world, we'd change these to trick flow 325 heads. Unfortunately, that's not in the budget right now, so we're gonna fix them up again. We're gonna take a look at the skirts on the pistons. I don't know, I thought about line to line coating them. That may happen, we'll see. And we'll get her all back together, and the future is hopefully with some nitrous, everything, better exhaust, all that. We go from 740s to 640s, and that's exactly where we kind of want to be with this thing. And then after that, we'll be looking at doing something different, and we'll talk about that something different because it's already bought, and we'll start showing you what that's going to be in the future too, and we'll go from there. And there'll be lots more on the turbo truck, and I'll be bringing you guys good content all summer as we get out there and go look at things, go to some shows, hopefully race the car, and we're going to see, we may go up to that deal at Rad Torque in June if we happen to get this all done by then, and where Little Gangsters is coming and stuff like that. So anyway, like, share, subscribe, do the thing. Thanks guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I know we're getting up there a little bit in subscribers, and hopefully they take off. And anyway, Mike out. Okay guys, so here we're pulling out all the Veltrain push rods, just looking everything over too as we do it, and we didn't find anything. All the rockers felt nice and smooth, ends of the push rods look pretty good, and didn't see any real big problems. So anyway, even the tips of the valves all look good, which kind of worried me because again, Speedmaster, Chinesium, right? So good or bad, just sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So intake comes off, everything looks good there, and check a few other things. So I'm just gonna let this run, guys.
Okay, guys, here we pull this lifter out and take a look at the bottom of it. Absolutely looks perfect. This is a solid flat tappet deal. And even with all those miles beating on it, it looks great. So we're not even worried about that. So yes, you can run hydraulic or flat tappets. Yes, they do have direct lube lifters and a few sprint car tricks, but for the most part, all looks good.